The bombs dropped on October 23rd of 2077, and you, the sole survivor, were probably running around making fun of your neighbors because honestly, we've all seen this intro about 100 times. But the bombs will drop all the same, and you're headed down into Vault 111 for a quick 210-year cryo nap. By the time you wake up, it's year 2287, and you'd think that at this point, I'm going to have a really hard time finding some edible food to make. But you'd be wrong. There's food everywhere. If you don't mind eating anything that gives you actual radiation poisoning. And hidden away in an old store, if you're lucky, you might stumble upon a sealed carton of YumYum deviled eggs. But don't worry, if you can't find them, then you can always boil together some everyday cooking ingredients. You know, a Maverick egg, some oil, and some plastic? So let's get started with our giant pile of eggs and see what we can whip up. Now, in a radiation-fueled post-apocalyptic world, I doubt there are many jars of mayo, so we're going to make our own. Since mayonnaise is made with raw eggs, we want to use pasteurized eggs. You can either buy pasteurized eggs at the store or pasteurize your own at home. Either way, make sure to wash your eggs thoroughly in warm water and soap before using them. To pasteurize eggs at home, you'll need a pot with enough water to cover your eggs by about an inch, a quick read thermometer, and a timer. This is because we're going to bring our eggs up to a very specific temperature and do everything we can to hold it there for at least 3 minutes. Start the eggs in cold water over medium heat and start bringing the temperature up to 135 degrees Fahrenheit before reducing the heat to low. We need to keep the eggs in the temperature range of 135 to 140 degrees for 3 minutes. Be careful not to let your temperature rise above 142 degrees Fahrenheit or they will start to cook. Once finished, you'll be rewarded with perfectly safe to eat raw eggs. Just run them under cold water until cooled off and they're good to go. Now that our raw eggs are ready, we can start making our mayonnaise. Crack one egg into a separate bowl so that you can transfer the yolk into a large mixing bowl. If you just pasteurized your egg, the yolk will be very soft, so just try to be careful with it. We're then going to squeeze in 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, which will help break down the proteins in the egg yolk. Whisk these together until well combined. Next up, we're measuring out 1 cup of neutral tasting oil. Avocado or canola oil will work great. I decided to go with sunflower oil, but be aware that this will add some flavor to the mayo. We're going to be drizzling this oil in very slowly, so either use a measuring cup with a good pouring spout or a squeezable condiment bottle. And start drizzling in the oil just a little bit at a time while whisking vigorously. Especially at the beginning, I kept it to a very light stream of oil. If the oil starts to build up, stop adding it and whisk until everything in the bowl is completely emulsified. And then we whisk. And keep whisking. And keep whisking. But before you know it, the mixture will start coming together and really resembling mayonnaise, and you can be proud that you did that yourself. Finish it off with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and refrigerate until we need it. Now to prepare our last ingredient, we're going to hard boil all of the remaining eggs. This recipe calls for 12 eggs, but I always boil 2 extra in case any get messed up while peeling them. Place all of your eggs in a large pot and cover with at least 1 inch of water. Then stir in 2 generous teaspoons of salt and 3 teaspoons of white vinegar. This will help prevent any slightly cracked eggs from leaking out and make peeling these eggs 100 times easier. Bring the pot up to a rolling boil over medium-high heat and immediately cover and turn off the burner. Let these eggs soak for 10 to 12 minutes before removing them into an ice bath. If you have a burner that does not retain heat, you can leave it on low for the first minute of the soak time. Look at that boiled egg with a bright yellow yolk. Absolutely perfect. Start splitting 12 of your eggs in half and removing the yolks into a large mixing bowl. Then mash up all of your yolks with a fork or potato masher until no large clumps remain. To this, we're going to add 1/2 cup of the mayonnaise we made earlier Follow that with 1 tablespoon of a nice Dijon mustard, 1.5 teaspoons of fresh squeezed lemon, and my family's special ingredient, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Finish with a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt and whisk everything together until completely smooth. We're going to pipe this mixture into our egg whites with a star-tipped piping bag. Open or closed star will both work, but you'll get some more significant definition with a closed star tip. Go ahead and fill a piping bag with the mixture, twist the top, and fold it over to prevent any leakage. Then start filling your halved egg whites one at a time. Once perfectly filled, we're going to very lightly sprinkle each of these with paprika, and they're ready to go. Now I know what you're thinking. That's not what radioactive deviled eggs would look like. And you're right. So in celebration of Halloween, we're going to make some spooky irradiated deviled eggs. This process starts right after hard boiling the eggs, but before we peel them. Fill a bowl with warm water and start dissolving food-safe dye until the solution is very dark. Then crack each egg all over with a spoon and submerge it completely in the water. Then set the bowl aside to soak for at least 3 to 4 hours. Next, we're going to dye the deviled egg filling. I'm aiming for a vibrant radioactive green, so I'm adding lots of blue and some green food coloring. The egg whites should have a cracked or veined appearance after shelling them. I also let these soak after cutting in half for an additional 10 minutes to get a soft purple color all over. Now, same as before, we're filling each egg with a piping bag and putting on a final touch. This time I'm using some very finely chopped chives. Side by side, we've got 2 very different looking but equally delicious deviled eggs. These are an amazing finger food for any event, and the irradiated eggs are perfect for a Halloween party. Real quick, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you like my content. More subscriptions means more videos, and I'd love to keep making them. I don't think I even need to tell you how great these tasted and how fun they were to make. The eggs were perfectly cooked and the filling is light and creamy. Homemade mayonnaise gave me a chance to really develop deep flavors, and the Worcestershire sauce packs an umami punch. No matter how many eggs you make for your next gathering, I guarantee they will be gone within minutes. Let me know in the comments below if you've had a chance to try out this recipe, or if there are any other video game foods that you'd like to see featured in a future video. Swing by my channel on Twitch to hang out and play new games that will be featured soon. Also, my Instagram has lots of hints to upcoming dishes and different kitchen adventures. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next week.